Today we're in Springfield, Illinois, and we're learning about Abraham Lincoln. Let's go! That's Landon, that's Will.
Half hour.
And that's check the picture on here.
And so you said that's Landon, Aiden, that's Mama, that's me, and that's Lyric.
No, that's Willow, and that's Uncle Danny.
And that's Uncle Danny.
And
Hilarious. You gonna take a picture with Abraham Lincoln's family? Yeah? No? What? They look so nice. You think they look nice?
No, okay.
My child.
That's grass. Definitely.
Oh,
That's kind of a map of the museum.
Yeah.
And if you see, you're right here.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that's right there. That's right there. That's where you're standing.
I see my finger. So is this when Abe Lincoln was a kid, I think, guys? Isn't that cool?
Who knew he was going to be a president? And yes, to answer your question, that is cool.
So Lincoln's early years outside the cabin near Little Pigeon Creek, Indiana, June 1818. Let's go inside the cabin.
Well, at least we know something about Abraham. He did not like doing laundry.
He didn't like doing laundry.
I would like doing laundry too. Guys, look, Abraham Lincoln's right there with his dog. It looks so real, bro.
Did you see where Abraham Lincoln sleeps? Did you see that?
Yeah, where is it?
See those steps going up? Some people call those pegs, but those steps. And see the hand hanging down from up there? Can you see the hand? Look between the hams.
Oh, yeah.
That's where his cousin and his friend slept. And
What?
And Abraham would climb up those steps, and that's where he would sleep.
That's crazy.
Oh, that's upstairs?
Yeah. And
No
that's his
way.
dad and his
They're on
stepmom.
steps.
And that's his sister and his stepsister, and they would push the trundle bed under it in the daytime. So all those people slept in this little bitty space. Isn't that
Wow.
cool?
So we can't complain about anything. Right. Look at the water pattern over here.
Ooh, I'm drowning us. What is that?
So this is unfortunately a representation of slave masters stripping families away from each other, the kids from their moms, the fathers away. But thank God he intervened and the Emancipation Proclamation was set into place in America.
What is this place?
So let's see, is this where he worked?
No, this is inside his house.
Inside his house?
When he's grown.
How do
Wow.
they get to touch it, but we don't get to touch it?
It's their house.
Oh,
They get to
really?
touch it. Yes.
Well, they're the fake ones. No,
So funny.
we're the fake robot ones.
We're the fake robot ones. So this is
Without-
Abraham Lincoln and Mary Ann Todd. And they were in Springfield, Illinois. Isn't that so cool? The president lived here?
Yeah. Oh, he's looking at me.
He's looking at you?
He's looking at me. What's happening?
It's Abraham Lincoln and his kids. Man, they make a mess like you guys.
Papa, you never help us clean our room. You just always lay down and read a book or watch TV.
Yeah, like good old Ed. That's me.
The one is over here.
His wall part here.
Wow. Those boys.
They're like me and you. Landon, me. Actually, Lear, because he always climbs on the table that throws things. And that's me because I don't know how to sweep.
So then Abraham Lincoln, he became a politician, which means he wanted to be a senator in his state. Someone who's like a state representative to like help make the laws in different states and things like that.
Was America even real?
Yeah, America was real. America was founded in 1776. So this was the 1830s and 40s. So we already had a few presidents. He was the 16th president.
He can win in the Electoral College and take the White House without a single Southern vote.
So this is so cool. So pretty much they're showing like Abe Lincoln being elected president.
Illinois Republican.
If we had TV back then, this is what it would have been like.
The founding fathers created it. Our forefathers shed their blood to defend it, and now one and only one man can preserve it, Abraham Lincoln. 2 years ago, he said, a house divided against itself cannot stand. Isn't it time we got that house in order? Lincoln Hamlin, one nation, indivisible forever.
Paid for by Wide Awake Clubs for Abe Lincoln.
A reassuring promise of national unity from a candidate campaigning only in the North.
All right, so Abraham Lincoln is presenting the Emancipation Proclamation to his staff, and they're looking over it. This guy looks stressed up. Emancipation Proclamation. It goes too far. It doesn't go far enough. Don't sign it. What will Abraham Lincoln do?
Not just free the slaves, it will free the oppressors from the sinful world.
No less than the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court has ruled that African slaves are chattel, with no more rights than a dog, or a butter churn, or a cotton field. The issue is settled!
Mr. Lincoln, are the great principles of political freedom and natural justice embodied in the Declaration of Independence extended to us? If not, then your boasted liberty is unholy license.
And after the election, Abraham Lincoln was elected president. It says, let the people rejoice. So America was excited. Well, a lot of America was excited with him becoming president. They thought there was going to be big changes, and there were.
It's like real rain, but it's actually just light going down, eh?
Yeah, that's so cool, right?
Yeah, kind of like a disco ball.
So after he was elected, he was on to the White House.
Woo! We're back out his house.
Yeah. So no more. I forgot, we weren't even in that cabin.
You do.
So outside of the cabin, now he went to the White House. Let's go to the White House. All right, to the White House.
Is the White House way bigger?
Oh yeah, it's way bigger. Hello, me lady.
This is a representation of the like the blue room in the White House where they would have soirees. This is Mary Todd, and it's a replica of the dress that she would have worn. What they've done, they've taken photographs of Mary Todd and also some prominent people in the Washington D.C. area, and they've tried to replicate those dresses. And now, if you'll notice, some of the dresses have flowers on them. And do you know why the flowers would be on any of these dresses? Okay. Back then, they didn't have deodorant. And so if they had something during the summertime, the flowers and perfumes probably would have been there to mask some of the body odor.
Wow.
And then something of interest, the lady behind Mary Todd is Elizabeth Keckley, and she is a free woman. She bought her freedom. She was a very prominent seamstress back in the day. She not only was a seamstress for Mary Todd and some of the other prominent ladies, but also Jefferson Davis, who later on would become the president of the Confederacy. It would have been his wife. So she was a very well-known seamstress back in the day, and a very close confidant with Mary Todd.
So right here, guys, it says the war begins. What was the war that was happening in the United States?
The Civil War.
The Civil War. Civil means we're supposed to be united. It's civil. We're one country, but we're fighting each other. So the United States was fighting against each other. Not good.
Washington used to be this big.
Yeah, looks like it, yeah.
And
Now it's like this big.
Yeah, it's just that area. Because we have 50 states now. Back then we didn't have 50 states yet. We were still making all the states.
we were still like in the progress of like getting all the states.
Yeah.
So here's
they were still discovering land.
It's like about 20 or
So
30
guys,
states.
these are all
I think so.
states.
I got checked. Yeah, that
These are
sounds
all
right.
states.
Those are all the states
And
back
this
then.
is one country.
That's the whole country. Good job. Look at you. Look at the shape of these frames. So wonky, right?
Yeah, so weird.
It makes the walls, everything look like they're slanted. What's it? Oh, Abe Lincoln statue.
Whoa.
This was made in 1913?
Why are wall
Modeled
like this?
from the president.
Oh, it's modeled from the original from 1913? That's cool. Hey guys, so this is what I was saying earlier. One of Abraham Lincoln's sons passed away when he was really young. He got sick. His son passed away when he was 11.
11?
So that's why she's wearing black. People usually wear black when they're sad or at a funeral or something.
Why do W's look like this?
That's interesting. You don't like that W?
It's weird. What's that? 500?
It's like two V's put together.
Yeah,
I thought W instead of double V.
Instead of double V this week.
Ooh, the White House kitchen, my favorite room. Landon, it's our favorite room, the kitchen. Yeah, boy. Turkey, baby, let's go.
Steak.
Okay.
Pie.
July 22nd, 1862, Lincoln Cabinet reacts to the first reading of the Emancipation Proclamation. So in America, he wanted there to be freedom for black people and white people, not just white people. So he wants everyone to be free. But a lot of people in the South didn't like that. So the Civil War continued. So even the black troops are going to war here. So this is showing the Civil War and all the cities that were having battles. And the casualties. The North has 250,000, the South 220,000, and the numbers just keep going up. You see, those casualties, those are people who died in the war. So that many people are dying. So far, 500,000 people. Yeah, this is horrible when you have a civil war in your own country. And his whole first presidency, he had to deal with his country fighting each other.
What's that and what's that?
These are just showing how he looked in 1860. That's how he looked in 1865. So this is him each year too. So 1860, no beard. 61, 63, 64, and this is 65. All right, guys, so this is where it happened with Abraham Lincoln. This gentleman, he stunk on stage while Abe Lincoln was here with his wife, and he shot him. You see?
That's how he died?
Yeah, that's how he died. Abraham Lincoln died this morning at 22 minutes after 7 o'clock. This is where Lincoln's tomb is at in Springfield, Illinois. Lincoln's sight, sound, and touch. Well, let's check this out.
What's this?
Use your fingers to experience the image and activate the audio. If you touch a button or sensor while the audio is playing, a new track will be available when the current track is complete.
What is this? Papa, what is this?
Let's find out. Let's read it. It's a replica surveyor's compass and chain used by Abraham Lincoln. Interesting. 19th century inkwell and dip pen. Oh, so this is where they would use pens. They would put ink on there. So you would dip it. Yeah, and you would wipe some of it off and you would write on paper.
That's what this is.
What?
This is stuff.
It's about Aiden.
Yeah.
The Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. And this is where Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. did his I Have a Dream speech. Remember? Remember we watched that video?
Yeah. I don't know what this is.
It's like where he would put his papers. It's his leather bag.
I know what to do.
Here's Lincoln's hat.
So this is how his hat feels like?
It was made out of beaver fur.
Beaver? What's beaver?
A beaver.
What's beaver though? What's a beaver?
I'll show you a picture.
A cup of tea, man.
A cup of tea.
A cup of tea.
Ooh, I'm thirsty.
Can't grab it.
You boys ready?
Yep.
Where we
I'm
at?
so ready. It's insanely. It's screaming. What? What did you say?
Where we at?
We're at Abraham Lincoln
His tomb.
tomb. Yeah,
Wow.
gravestone or something.
What's one thing you guys learned about Abraham Lincoln?
That he freed the slaves from the slavery.
Yep. Crazy. What number president was he? Do you remember?
I'm 16.
16th president. Yep.
Yeah.
Good job.
Pollo.
All right. Well, let's go.
The real, actual Abraham Lincoln is right here.
Yep.
Pollo. Abe Lincoln is on the penny, so we're gonna put the penny on Abe Lincoln.
Aiden, you want to go first?
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, my head is so itchy.
Skylar, good?
Nice one.
Get your picture.
Landon, you next.
Really?
Abraham Lincoln was the 16th president of the United States. He signed the Emancipation Proclamation.
What's one thing you learned about Abraham Lincoln?
That he has 4 children. I learned that when he was a kid, he used to live in a cabin.
One thing I learned about Abraham Lincoln is that he's 6'4". That's all.
One thing I learned about Abraham Lincoln, that he got assassinated.
One thing I learned about Abraham Lincoln is he had a lot of nicknames and he was a nice founding father, and he also ended slavery.
One thing I learned about Abraham Lincoln is that he has a wandering eye and a lazy eye.
One thing I learned about Abraham Lincoln is that he got kicked in the face with a horse. That's why one side of his face looks sad and one side of his face looks nice.
One thing I learned about Abraham Lincoln.
Abraham Lincoln, girl.
Okay.
Excellent.
One thing I learned about Abraham Lincoln is that he let slaves free. Everything that I know about everything. One thing that I learned about Abraham Lincoln was he tried to save those slaves. He had 4 kids until his kids passed away.
One thing I learned about Abraham Lincoln is that he once lived in Illinois.
Where's Abraham Lincoln? There he is.
We're at the state capitol building.
How'd you guys like seeing the Capitol building?
It was super fun. Yeah. It's crazy how we're in person with that. And it's huge.
So
and
nice.
also that little rainbow picture there. It was really cool. It was the sun shining or something. Yeah, but when you go up close, it's different pictures of things. Right, and I even saw a house on there or something. No, just think of that.
That's awesome.
Charles Arnold's house? What?
I don't know who that is, but let's go in.
Oh, I'm gonna go upstairs.
You said you're gonna go upstairs?
Can I?
No.
Why? Because they blocked up the stairs. That's not fair. Whoa!
One time that President Lincoln became president.
Wow.
This is so cool.
Right? So cool how these places were here so long ago. That's how the walls used to look. That's so cool.
What's this?
This is how a long time ago had the building actually looked. This is how the walls looked. So they saved a piece of it. And then they updated it, they updated it now just so people can tour the space. Hey boys, check out this wagon.
Wagon?
Yeah, over there, you see it?
So guys, this is how streets used to look back then or something?
The streets were just made of like this. Crazy, right?
But now everything looks super different, right?
Yep. Wow. Yep. And they would have a horse to pull it.
Horses in a wagon, okay?
Yep. This is where the horses will pull up and then they would step on these steps so they can get in the wagon. Go ahead and practice. Act like you get on the wagon. Oh my goodness. You okay?
Yeah, well, look. Oh, yeah, well, look. Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, you hear the birds chirping? Those are birds from the 1800s.
This is a wagon. And it has Abe Lincoln's face on it, or Abraham Lincoln's face on it. Whoa, that's so cool. He was younger.
Let's check out this old school tripod. It's like a camera, right? You see that? That's pretty cool. This view of Lincoln's home has been the most frequently photographed through the years. We invite you to step into history and take a photo from this location. So they're saying this is where people took the photo. All right, so now we are at Lincoln, Springfield, and we are gonna learn about Jameson Jenkins, Francis Springer, Charlotte Rodriguez de Sousa, Mariah Vance, William Donegan, and Henry Kerrigan. Jameson Jenkins. On February 11th, 1861, Jameson Jenkins took President-elect Abraham Lincoln to the train station for his inaugural journey to Washington, D.C. Francis Springer. Reverend Springer performed all of the approximately 60 marriages for African American members of the 57th United States Colored Troops for the Bureau of Refugees and Freedmen at Fort Smith, Arkansas. Charlotte Rodriguez. In 1931, De Sousa was honored at the dedication ceremony of the Lincoln Tomb, an event that was attended by President Herbert Hoover. Mariah Vance. At 19 years old, Vance was one of the organizers of the first African American church in Springfield, the African Baptist Church. William Donegan was a conductor on the Underground Railroad. He once helped a girl escape enslavement by disguising her appearance and voice. Henry Kerrigan. Kerrigan owned a hotel that served as a temporary home for travelers near and far. This allowed him to talk to a wide variety of visitors. That this nation, under God, shall have a new birth of freedom, and a government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth. Abraham Lincoln, 1863. Last but not least, Abe Lincoln's home. Check this out.
Okay. Whoa, that's his actual house?
Yeah, when he was in Illinois. What do you think, Landon?
Is this it?
Yep, Abe Lincoln's home. Wow, that's so cool. The door says A. Lincoln. That's awesome.
The house was built in 1839. The Lincolns bought it in 1844 for a grand total of $1,500. Not bad. But when they moved in, it did not look as nice as it does today. That second floor, that was not there when they moved in. This was still a cottage. It just had one bedroom and one floor with a small attic above. It would have looked a lot more like the house on the corner over there. Now that was all they needed when they moved in. The family was small. It was just Abraham, Mary, and their son Robert, who was less than 1 year old. But as the years went on, they had more children here, 3 more boys born in this house, so they had to expand over time. They added the second floor onto the home in 1856, 12 years after moving in. Keep that in mind when we go upstairs. You will see improvements, higher ceilings, bigger rooms, other amenities. As Lincoln's career as a lawyer was growing and his family was growing, so was the house, to the point that he could run for president, and they left here for the White House in 1861. They did still own the house while he was president. They wanted to come back. Of course, Lincoln was assassinated while in office, so instead, the house went to his oldest son, Robert, now fully grown. Robert rented the house to other families for about 22 years. And then, in 1887, he sold it to the state of Illinois for $1, giving it away essentially as long as they agreed to maintain the home in good condition and open it to the public for free, which it still is today. Ready to head inside?
Yeah.
All right, in we go. Right this way, please. All right, well, I think this is the best room to start in. This is where the Lincolns welcomed all their guests. It's the first room they would have wanted you to see. That's because this is the fancy room. It is the most impressive first stop for any guest in the house. Every party, social event was held here, and if no one was coming over that day, they would have had these doors kept closed and locked to keep this room off limits to the Lincoln boys, who were big troublemakers. They would have loved to wreck the room. But keeping them away means we have a lot of original stuff still here in good condition. If you look around, all the chairs and couches, except for one rocking chair in the middle, they are all original to the Lincoln family. They did belong to them. Now you see how these can divide the room in the middle here. Now the reason the room is divided like this is because it used to be two different rooms. Before they added on the second floor, there was actually a wall here. So you see two fireplaces. The parlor used to just be the front half because back here, this was the bedroom they shared. And that means this is the room where 3 Lincoln boys were born: Eddie, Willie, and Tad. Now, it's not all good memories here. It is also sadly where their boy Eddie passed away from tuberculosis, lung disease, at the age of 3. His funeral was held here in the front parlor. So there is intense tragedy and joy in the same room. 10 years after that, right around this time of year, late May of 1860, Abraham Lincoln was met in this room by a group of about 12 men from Chicago, and they had come here to give him the official news in person. He had been selected to represent his party in the presidential election of 1860, so Lincoln's official road to the White House starts in this room. Pretty important moment in his life and a turning point in American history right here. We even know where he was standing, and it was right here in the middle under the archway in the center of the room. So pretty impressive stuff. Coming around here into this room, this is where those Lincoln boys would have been allowed to play and have fun. This is the family room, the living room. They call it the sitting room. You'd find the whole family gathered here most evenings. Mrs. Lincoln would be over on the right side. That big mirror underneath it is the sewing table. That is the original mirror and sewing table of Mrs. Lincoln. She would make and mend all the clothing for her boys entirely by hand. That's a lot of work, especially because she has to deal with distractions from the boys here. They would have wrestling matches on the floor of this room many evenings. Abraham included. He would wrestle with his sons, showing off his skills. If you didn't know, growing up, Lincoln won over 300 wrestling matches in his youth. He is actually in the Wrestling Hall of Fame still today. So he would show off the skills to his boys here. Now, if they did not feel like wrestling, they could also play board games. We have a replica of their original chess set there. On that same table is the tall wooden box. That is called a stereoscope. That's a device that shows you pictures in 3D. Using the cards you see on the table there, like a Viewmaster, you put them in the top, you look in the eyepieces, you see a 3D image. That would have cost about $18 to $25 back then, somewhere around $700 to $900 today. And that is the original one that Lincoln purchased for his boys. Now, the other source of fun here would have come from the animals of the home. They did have pets. There's a Lincoln dog named Fido. Yes, Fido the dog. Pretty classic. There also would have been cats in the house because Lincoln would bring home strays. If he found one on his way home from work, he was known to just pick it up and bring it home. Mrs. Lincoln actually wrote in a letter she believed that Abraham's hobby was collecting cats. So, if you learn nothing else about him today, remember 2 things about Lincoln: wrestler and cat collector. You can impress friends and family with some Lincoln trivia. Yeah.
Did Lincoln ever get rabies?
He did not, no. Although, funny story, once Robert, their son, got bitten by a dog that they thought might have had rabies, so they really freaked out and tried to go to Indiana to look for a cure for him. There was reports out there that somebody could cure rabies, so they went out looking for it, but then it turns out did not have rabies, so he didn't have to worry about it. But yeah, and funny story they asked about that. Lincoln never worried about it, but his son did. So the second floor, remember, all this was added on top later. We can already see the rooms are bigger, the ceilings are almost 12 feet high, and they have more than 1 bedroom. They have 5 bedrooms on the second floor. Big improvement. First one is the guest room over there. It's meant to show off for visitors with things like the Venetian blinds and more of the black upholstered furniture. But now we're in the primary bedroom suite. This is Abraham and Mary's room. It is 2 bedrooms stuck together. The one we're standing in, we call this Abraham's room. The back one we call Mary's room. That does not mean that they were sleeping in different rooms. It just meant their personal stuff was kept spread out. That was a status symbol, a way of showing off back then 2 rooms for the man and lady of the home. But Mary's room was actually slept in by Willie and Tad. The 2 youngest boys would be sleeping back here, close by, so that because they like to make mischief at night, they would make a lot of noise or have trouble sleeping. Well, Mary can easily hear it. She can go back and look after her kids, make sure they get to bed, and then Abraham has time to work. So this room becomes his mini office from home. He would work here from that little desk desk in the corner, which I know is kind of small for a man like Lincoln, right? 6'4". He'd have to hunch over the desk, but that is my favorite artifact we have here. It is his original desk that he owned for over 15 years. It's a very famous speech he delivered here in Springfield at the old state capitol. A house divided against itself cannot stand. He wrote that speech on that desk. Neighbors would say that they saw candlelight in those corner windows, sometimes until 3 in the morning right up there. So he would work late at that spot. The boots, those are sadly not original, but they are his size. So if you ever wondered, size 14 shoes for Abraham Lincoln. All right, so we're gonna move through Mary's room next. As we walk through, some things to notice. You may have realized by now there's no bathroom in the house. No running water means no flushing. You have to use the outhouse in the yard or chamber pots that you see under the beds. Mrs. Lincoln is too fancy for that. She gets a commode. That's a nice wooden seat. You'll see it on the left in her room. It is original. She'd be so happy that we show it to hundreds of people every day, right? So make sure you admire it. Also, on the back wall of her room next to the bed, you'll see a chest of drawers. That dresser is the oldest item in the house. It is over 200 years old. It actually comes from Mary's family home in Lexington, Kentucky. It is a Todd heirloom, about 20 years older than this entire house. Into the back hallway, first of all, no more wallpaper. It's very plain all of a sudden. That's because visitors would not have come back this far. This part was only for the family and household to see. You can only get here through Mary's room or up the back stairs to the kitchen. The door behind me, if you're wondering, it does not go anywhere. It's actually a linen closet, just a storage area. Same is true of the other closed door at that end. That's a walk-in closet. They would call it the trunk room for suitcases and trunks full of all the clothes they didn't need for the season. There are also 2 other bedrooms in the hallway. This one, closer to me, this is called the boys' bedroom. It was originally Robert's room. He was the oldest son, got his own space. But in 1859, he moved out. He went off to pursue higher education. He went to finishing school and then college. As soon as he was out the door, his little brothers, they saw an opportunity. Like any little brothers, they took his room over for themselves. Now, it's Willie and Tad's room full of their toys. It's why you see checkers, dominoes, toy soldiers, marbles. They need a lot of distractions. In fact, some of their marbles, the little clay ones, were found in the backyard of this house by archaeologists 100 years after the Lincolns left. So they were dug up there and returned to the boys' room. So it's a lot of work still to look after the boys. Even with all the toys, they are a lot of work. Imagine that plus all the chores and housekeeping here. No electricity, no running water, no heating, no air conditioning, and Abraham working every day. Mrs. Lincoln could not do it all herself all the time. So they would employ a hired staff member. They would pay one person at a time, usually a teenage girl from the community. A lot of them were from immigrant families. We have records of their staff being Irish, Portuguese, German, and African-American girls. Whoever was working would be paid weekly and got to have that room for free if she wanted it for herself. As a teenager, have a free room, most of them would take that deal. It's also the only room in the house that still has the original floors. Service. Thank you all so much for a great tour today. Do come back anytime. Tours are always free. Glad you enjoyed it. We'll let you out here to the backyard.
Wow, learning about Abe Lincoln was pretty cool.
Yeah, hope you enjoyed this video. Bye!